guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be about hair care routine basically. So essentially, I love my hair. I've been obsessed with my hair from a young age. I have to look after it in a certain way. I just love my hair. So when it comes to me tying my dastar, after a couple of, well, I would say half a year to a year, I started noticing that my hairline was receding, which kind of low-key panicked me because I love my hair so much and my hairline just disappearing. I was like, right, I need to do something. And I didn't realize what was happening or how to resolve this, and I really didn't know anyone that could give me advice. So essentially I just worked out ways where I could improve my hair care routine, or change the way that I tie my dastar to help. So I've actually changed my hair care routine over the years, and at the moment I'm loving it because it's actually really helpful, and over the last couple of months, and it's boosted my, it's actually boosted my self-esteem. And I'm going to go through the tips with you, and I hope you enjoy this video. Tip number 1, always let your hair breathe. Letting your hair breathe is so important, and I think people forget that. Even if it's at home, you can have it covered if you want with a bandana, with you can just use your bunga sab or something and just cover it from the top, wear a chunni, but let your hair breathe. Letting your hair breathe is so important because it just gives your hair some space to move around, and it's really helpful, because if you're going to have your hair in the dastar all day, it's long hours in a dastar, and on top of that it's just constant pressure on your gears as well because it's always tight. Okay, so yeah, let your hair breathe. Another tip is, so when I let my hair breathe, I don't essentially leave it open. I like having it in a jura or in a loose gut or something, because that way it's out of the way, it's not getting tangled into things, and essentially it actually helps your hair growth. Because I remember when I was younger, I used to do ponytails and stuff, but once I started wearing the dastar and I had it in a jura, my hair started growing more. So yes, let your hair breathe, but also don't always have it out unless it's really easy to handle or something. But I've noticed that having it in a gut or having it in a jura, essentially, I don't know how it works, but for some reason everyone I know that's been doing this, their hair tends to grow longer, and it's healthier too. So yeah, so tip number 3, hair oils. I can't express this enough. They are so important in hair nourishment. I can't actually explain it. So what I used to use was coconut oil. I used to live by coconut oil. I still like coconut oil, but I've also over the years, when I've started doing research into oils, I've noticed there's certain oils that help you in certain areas of your hair growth. So yeah, so that it's really essential. I used to have a very dry scalp. I still have moments when it's really dry, but I've noticed oils actually help cool that down, and in the long run it just makes me more confident as well, especially when I do kisiyashnan, and or if I have my hair down before I just tie the dastar, or when I'm around the house, it just gives me that more confidence because I know there's no dandruff flaking around. It's just especially my hairline, having a decent hairline. I used to feel really self-conscious around the house and stuff, if anyone saw my hairline, or even if I had to redo my dastar, I used to panic a little bit, oh my god, people are going to see my hairline, they're going to see this, and it just didn't make me feel happy inside. So yeah, now I'm using, so I'll show you the oil that I'm using at the moment and why I think it's actually really good. So at the moment I'm using the Sardar & Co hair oil, as you can see. So it's a nourishing hair oil, and a deeply nourishing hair oil formulated with 100% natural ingredients, leaving hair incredibly soft, light and moisturized. And it's so true. Like, so the instructions say to use it either on damp or wet hair, and you can use this like 2 hours or longer before. Use this and let it soak in your hair in the long run. So this is a hair bottle, and this is the bottle that it comes in. So it's got a pump, so you can just pump the oil into your hand. So yeah, it's really easy and like very easy to use. Like, you can just pump it straight into your hair, and like, yeah, it's just very convenient. But yeah, so with this hair oil, you can use it a few hours, like 2 hours or more before you wash your hair. It can be applied on wet or dry hair. So what I tend to do is I apply the hair oil into my hair. I leave it in for like a day. Like, I just have a full-on greasy hair day, and you know, no shit's given. But anyways, yeah, so I leave it in my hair for the whole day, and then wash it in the evening. And once I wash my hair, so I wash my hair with just normal regular Head and Shoulders and like the shampoo, and then I use the conditioner. So what I also tend to do is I comb my gears, because the oil actually helps you comb your gears like really easily, and it prevents, like, you know, too many knots and entangled gears situation going on. So what I tend to do is I soak my hair in daily basis in oil, and I use this one, and yeah, so wash it in the evening. You use shampoo, and then I use conditioner, but then I comb through, like, I take my conga with me and I comb through my gears whilst I've got the conditioner in my hair. That way it also helps with like getting all like the tangles out quicker, so afterwards you don't really have to worry about it as much. So that's what I do, and then I just dry it with a towel and let it naturally dry, and then I just give it another quick comb. But it's really easy and really quick because, you know, it's not really tangled. And what I do is I just apply like 2 pumps of this oil, and I just put it in like the top of my roots, just because it helps with a lot of like frizzaways, and because I get dandruff, it just really helps like just keep it a little bit moisturized for over the week that I'm waiting to wash my hair. So my hair care routine actually is like from week to week. So I wash my hair once a week, because the more you wash your hair, the more it gets damaged essentially, because the more chemicals you're using in your hair. So I tend to wash my hair once a week, and obviously apply this oil once a week, unless I do need to dip in anywhere else during the week, and just apply a little bit, a pump or two, anywhere that I do think it's getting a bit dry or anything, because sometimes like just doing certain activities or, you know, certain things can cause your hair from, yeah, going a bit funny. So yeah, so essentially in this so you get this leaflet, and it explains like what the oils they have put in here. So essentially it's like all in one, like you have everything that you could want in your hair oil. So yeah, it's just like one bottle, and it's really nice and easy because everything's in the one bottle essentially. So yeah, that's what I do. Then I comb it out, and yeah, and then the next step is obviously the next step is, so you have to keep your hair care routine and also incorporate the star routine and change that in a way that both of them actually help in the long run in, you know, helping your hair get thicker, stronger, your hairline from receding. So using the oil, and then still use the star routine, which is like, this is going to try and help you, but then the star routine is just going to keep pushing your hairline down, or just going to keep damaging your hair. So you need to like use both techniques to help in the long run, because you can't do one or the other. I mean, you could like use your change with the star routine first, but oils help speed up the process, and oils are amazing. Oils are amazing. So yeah, I mean, if you did want to get this is from the Sardar & Co. I love it at the moment. I'm loving it, and I'm loving my routine because my gears are really long, like, so my hair goes up to my knees, so it's like a pain to deal with, but it's really like I have to keep it on point all the time because otherwise it's just gonna get dry, damaged, a lot of breakages, and I don't want that. So yeah, so I'm gonna go into my Stalk routine to help prevent your hairline from receding and from any breakages from your hair, so stay tuned. So I'm going to go through the tips that I have for when I'm tying my Stalk to help with the hairline, and this is like to prevent hair damage, hair loss, receding hairline. So like usually when people start wearing Stalks, like the hairline starts like increasing and like all this hair starts coming off slowly. So I'm going to go over the tips that I use to help prevent any of that from happening. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is just tip my head forward. Yeah, so because I've done my bunga now, and my bunga is actually in a comfortable position. It's not too tight. This is a very comfortable like bun. It's really comfortable. Like I don't feel any pulling on my hair, but it's still like it's secure. It's not like it's not secure. Mine's secure. It's just not overly tight, which is what you basically want, because in the long run your hair's going to get more and more damaged. The more it pulls, more, you know, your hair gets pulled. So yeah, don't do your bunga too tight. Second tip, when doing your gear ski, just make sure it's, again, not too tight, because if you start doing your gear ski tight, which means you got a tight bunga, then you got a tight gear ski, and then you're gonna have a tight Stalk on top of it. So you want everything secure, you want it tight enough it doesn't come off, but you don't want it over tight that is damaging your hair. So what I do is, so I've got my gear ski, so I bring it up and around, but so what I'm gonna do, so that this lard is actually gonna be like, look, it's gonna be super loose. Like I'm not even gonna try to tighten this by too much. So like if you can see, this is loose, but it's not too loose now, and I'm gonna start tightening my gear ski after this lard. This is where all my hairline is, and I'm not putting any pressure on my hairline, if you can tell. So even the second lard I'm going to do loose, but obviously I can't do the whole thing too loose because then my Stalk's not going to sit. So the next one up, so this is like up here, so this is where my bunga is, so I'm going to do it tighter there, like so it doesn't move, and you know, it doesn't do anything that I don't want it to do, and it creates a shape, but it's not tight, like it's nice and loose. I've said that so many times today, I don't even know. But yeah, anyways, you kind of get the point that I'm trying to make. But yeah, so don't have it tight, do not do it tight. That's like the main thing. Okay, so now at the moment it feels loose, it feels really nice, it doesn't feel like it's coming off, it's secure, and like it's comfortable, so it's not going to damage my hair like in any shape, way or form, because you know I've managed to do it in a way that's it's not tugging on my hair. So next step is your Stalk. So when doing your Stalk, even if it's round, goal, jand, square, whatever shape you do, basically you just need to implement these tips into your style. So yeah, like obviously after this, if you start doing your Stalk too tight again, it's going to put pressure on your gears, and it's going to put pressure on your gear ski, which is going to put pressure on your gears, and in the long run that's how breakages happen. That's how receding hairline happens, because of the amount of pressure and the tugging. I think I'm just repeating myself so many times right now, but bear with me. Anyways, so I'm going to do my Stalk. And with my Stalk, again, my first couple of lugs aren't going to be too tight, okay? So I've done another tips and tricks video on how to tighten your Stalk, so you can use those methods, but obviously you need to implement this as well to help prevent, you know, hair loss. So I'm going to start off with putting my lug there, and I'm doing the triangle at the start, so that's just my preferred method. So again, I'm not tightening, like it's not loose but it's not tight, so it's like resting. I'm gonna keep doing that until my lugs later on. Then I'm gonna start tightening to the start. So yeah, so like it's comfortable, and just you'll know if it gets too tight. Like you'll feel the pressure a little bit, and you don't want that pressure, especially on your hairline, because yeah, like I started losing my hair, well, my receding hairline started after a couple of months of me tying at the start, and it definitely has not done me any good, and it made me more insecure, especially when I was having my hair wash days. Like just even like my family seeing my receding hairline, it just made me sick, because I used to have such a small forehead, and like my forehead growing, it just made me really insecure. So essentially I just found these tips and I was just experimenting, and yeah, and I realized that over time, so it's not going to happen overnight, like your hairline's not going to reappear overnight. You're going to have to give it time. It could take up to a year, it could take 6 months, it could take a year and a half, but it depends how like long it's been since it's happened, because the longer you leave it, the harder it is to grow it back, essentially. But yeah, but I mean, it's still possible, because I lost some and it's growing back quite well, and I've got a lot of baby hairs, new baby hairs growing too. So essentially in my other tips video, I explained how I tighten my Stalk like from the corners rather than putting pressure on the actual lugs. So that's essentially what I was doing. I kind of forgot to explain that, but if you do want to watch the other video with tips and tricks on, like, you know, the Stalk tips, please watch that. I think it will be really helpful, especially if you're struggling with certain aspects like earaches and stuff like that. I cover all that in that. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, so now my Stalk, I can feel it on me. It's not too tight, but it's not loose. So because I was tightening it from my ears as I was going, and that's what you want to do basically. So yeah, I don't know if that was helpful, but anyways, so now I'm gonna start tightening my Stalk. So this is all my hairline, right? So there's like very little pressure on my hairline. So what I'm going to do is my next layer is going to be up here, so which is above my hairline, like it's not going to be like on my hairline. So this is now where I'm going to start tightening my Stalk. So I'm just pulling this back to make it cleaner, and it's going to tuck in the extra gopra, and I'm going to take it up and around. So again, I'm going to be tightening my Stalk now. Like this is the essential area that that's going to help like tighten my Stalk up. So that's my Stalk essentially done. Again, I never tightened this area as much, whereas more of my Stalk pressure is all up here, so actually around my bunga rather than on my hairline. This is going to help with your receding hairline, but obviously you're going to have to do this as well as your hair care routine, so they're going to work together in getting your hair stronger, thicker, and you know, it's going to be more nourished essentially in the long run. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found anything interesting, do let me know. If there's anything you guys do that it could be useful for anyone else to know, or even me. Do comment that down below, that if you do use any of these tips, or you know, you use other products that help as well, do let me know. But yeah, essentially that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, stay fearless and keep going. Bye.